to this computer. Right, so good evening, everyone, and welcome from all over South Africa and the UK. It's lovely to have you all this evening. And my name is Noori, and I'm a health professional. And I've been busy with LifeWave now for about 18 months. But what's been really interesting for me is that having spent many, many years as a health professional, a nutritionist, emotional stress therapist, having reached the age of 50 and found myself getting menopausal arthritis, building a successful health company to find solutions for bone and joint problems and people living in pain and fibromyalgia and all sorts of things to do with pain. When I finally turned the age of 60, because I'm 66 now, I was, much to my surprise, finding that I was now not feeling okay at the age of 60. And it was very, very disturbing for me that I was going on a very fast downhill slope. I started developing psoriasis on the back of my neck, and that was weeping and blistering for 4 years. Frozen shoulder, neck pain, brain fog, chronic fatigue, and a whole list of other symptoms. So I was quite devastated by the fact that I was not aging gracefully. And I remember praying one day and saying to God, please find me the answers to age gracefully, because how am I going to be productive and useful if I'm feeling miserable in my own body? And then it happened soon after that I was informed about stem cell reactivation technology, much to my confusement and amazement, because I'd only ever heard of stem cell therapy before. But this was activation, nothing to do with therapy, totally non-transdermal, and effectively is the aspect of the infrared light reflecting back to itself, known as phototherapy light, which normally we would dissipate, actually elevating copper peptides and initiating age reversal. And all this done because as we age, our stem cells start to fall asleep. And what we're able to do is then to reactivate them and take them out of their dormant state. So we're going to look more at that information as we go along. But to start with, I'd just like to share with you a little bit about the background of the company, which is known as LifeWave. It's 21 years old. The founder and CEO and scientist is Dr. David Smith. And I'm going to play you a short video just to introduce the profoundness of this knowledge, of this technology, which is not medical, it's not a treatment, it's not a therapy, it's not a nutritional supplement, it's not an alternative, it's a new age frequency medicine, which is enabling frequency healing in the body by the reactivation of dormant stem cells, tapping into the original blueprint that made you. So the 4,192 genes that start to get reactivated in your body, for example, are the symbolic of your stem cells returning to their original state of activation, as they did when you were much younger. And this is why we use the words age reversal, not anti-aging. So I'll be covering more about that as well. So just to start, I'd like to play this video, and it's just here, there we are. And just absorb the energy of the company, the energy of the science, and the phenomenal breakthrough that this is bringing forth, which is currently in 87 countries. Last year, the company turned over 600 million from 20 million in 2020, having already been 21 years old, but this year on target to turn over 1 billion just by word of mouth from people who share it because it did something for them. So here we go.
In 2004, LifeWave embarked on a remarkable journey with a vision as simple and powerful as light itself. Harnessing light with patented light technology to boost the body's natural energy, they said it couldn't be done. But they didn't know this inventor, David Schmidt, founder and CEO, who made what some said was impossible, possible. David's commitment to tap into our natural human energy at the cellular level without drugs or stimulants led to LifeWave being launched in the early 2000s. His mission? To help people take control of their well-being, their livelihood, and their longevity with life technology designed to reimagine the future of human possibility. While the science of phototherapy has been around for over 100 years, LifeWave is the first to harness light with the simplicity and effectiveness of a wearable wellness patch. With Energy Enhancer, our first product, LifeWave was proven to be a safe, non-drug technology. More energy, more stamina, more enthusiasm for life. But David didn't stop there. He redefined the science, inventing new ways to improve sleep, diminish stress, and more. Then, people in other countries heard of LifeWave's unique products, and the international growth wave began. After all, when you feel great, it shows in any language. And then it happened, and it changed everything. It was the summer of 2018. Stem cells and the growing awareness of their ever-increasing value within the human body made headlines across the world. But for more than 10 years, David Schmidt had already been researching our body's aging process and how stem cells could help. And then he figured out how to use LifeWave technology to elevate a copper peptide naturally occurring in the body. A first-of-its-kind product was introduced to the world, the LifeWave X39 patch. Today, it has proven to be an invention that has taken the world of health and wellness by storm, and it is changing people's lives everywhere. LifeWave is growing fast as a result. David says X39 is his best invention to date. With more than 100 filed and issued worldwide patents held by David, including over 70 in the field of regenerative science, LifeWave has only scratched the surface of continued innovation. What's it all mean? If you are hearing about LifeWave for the very first time, you are standing at a crossroads. The opportunity for you to profit from our accelerating growth is now. Will you be among those who take advantage by helping people discover how great it feels to feel great again with LifeWave? This is the definition of opportunity. This is LifeWave.
So that is a lovely introduction, just to give you an idea of the phenomenal background that this company has, because when we look at the aspect of what's happening here, LifeWave itself is not even registered as a health company. It's registered as a technology company. So it's a new age revolution in how we are going to see the healing of this body. And you will see that what's happening in the world today is that the common words that people use are stem cells. They're saying to use copper peptides, to reverse aging, to use frequency healing, to look at enabling the genes to reset, to renew the DNA so that we can alleviate harm that might have been done to the DNA from our environment, or things like vaccines. So there's lots of phenomenal breakthrough research in this. And just to go a bit forward, what we're looking at here is the fact that we are elevating, activating, and regenerating. Now, at an energy level, those words themselves have a very, very high frequency. When you elevate something, it means that you are raising its capacity. So we're raising the body's own capacity to actually elevate copper peptides known as GHK and AHK. And much research has been done on this, especially by Dr. Peckart, in the 1970s, which is over 45 years of research now. He founded copper peptides and then continued to do research to show that if you elevated them, you could actually reverse aging in the body. And one of our clinical trials is that 15 heart patients were given X39, which is the patch we're introducing this evening. And over a period of 6 months, 14 out of 15 of them had hearts 8 years younger. Now, that's a period of 6 months, never mind 6 years or longer. The point is that the heart was actually reversed in age. So we're looking at a cellular level, at the level of the organs, at the level of the bones and the structure and the density, the cartilage, the brain function, memory loss, neurological damage, and so many other different aspects. And the activation is where we are reactivating something that got deactivated. These are our 1 trillion stem cells that were given to us when we were conceived. So as our Creator said, let there be light, we came here with the divine intelligence in our stem cell coding that went on to make us as a baby and still continue today. But in addition to which, we have our pluripotent stem cells that are there to constantly repair and rejuvenate and revitalize and energize. So when they turn up in their pluripotent state, they are able to create the coding for that particular illness or damaged cell or disease cell. Never mind the name of the disease, because the stem cells don't know the name of a disease. They just know that that cell might need repairing. So if you take diseases like autoimmune or a heart disease or neurological damage, there's no labels in the body for that as far as the stem cells are concerned. They are simply going about in the aspects of the hierarchy of needs in the body of what actually needs to be done to return this body to its natural state. So in that process, we are regenerating. And that regeneration is what enables the age reversal and the renewal and the revitalization of the body. So why LifeWave? Well, there are affordable stem cell reactivation technology in a patch. So you'll see here that I'm actually wearing a patch here. That's what they look like. And so they are actually devices that you put on your skin that have been classified by the FDA as a medical device. So if you've been Googling X39, you'll find a lot of misinformation about LifeWave because there are certain organizations that don't like the fact that we're so successful. And so they'll say no clinical trials and not approved by the FDA and all sorts of things like that. Well, we have over 90 clinical trials with evidence-based studies. And also, we don't need to be FDA approved because it's not a product that goes into the body. It's non-transdermal. So it got classified as a device in class 1 for general wellness so that it could be determined that it was non-transdermal with no ingredient going into the body, yet being a technology that was a benefit to the body with no side effects, no contraindications when worn on the skin. Now, this was fascinating for me because last year, October, I went to a convention in Dallas, Texas, with 5,000 delegates and doctors and scientists talking for 3 days about X39 LifeWave and the stem cell technology. And many of the delegates were American doctors because due to the FDA classification, they were able to freely recommend it to their patients. And then they came to the convention to actually share the amazing results they got with their patients from neuropathy, from ulcerative colitis, to dementia, to heart disease, and diabetes, and so many other conditions. But the stem cells are not treating those conditions. They're simply returning a diseased cell back to its eased state, which is its natural state. So it's returning the body to homeostasis, which is natural balance. So why LifeWave? Well, it's an affordable stem cell reactivation technology in a patch, and LifeWave patches are formulated to activate your copper peptides, GHKCU, which reactivates your own stem cells. So this is a phenomenal thing because there's nothing else on the planet that is known to reactivate your own stem cells. So we are talking about breakthrough science here. So why are stem cells important? You know, many of us perhaps don't even know what stem cells are. We just know the word stem cells. So their name implies that they contain the stem, they contain the blueprint, they contain the coding. So nothing can actually exist without them in the human body. And they are able to make more cells like themselves, that is, that they self-renew. But they're not going to be self-renewing if they're dormant. So this is why it's so important to wake them up. And they can become other cells that do different things. And this is known as differentiation. And differentiation means that when the cells turn up at a place that needs repairing in their pluripotent state, they actually turn up as blanks. And then they create the coding required for the job in hand. And this process of creating the coding is known as differentiation. Marvelous. It's a miracle. It's incredible. It can only come from a divine source. They are needed for the maintenance of tissue as well as for repair after injury. So when we see, for example, like I've been an advisor for a diabetic association, and one of the most common things is that if a diabetic got injured, or maybe they had to have an amputation, they had a very, very big challenge with their wound healing. And so wound healing in all different aspects, whether you cut yourself, you're in an accident, whether you break a bone, all of those things are so important for your body to be able to constantly repair and heal. And the results we get on rapid healing and rapid wound healing, wow, the before and after pictures are too incredible. So why X39? Well, the fewer stem cells you have, the faster you age and the slower you heal. So, for example, I got to the age of 60 and suddenly now I've got brain fog, I've got chronic fatigue, I've got frozen shoulder, I couldn't use my right arm. I had chronic neck pain, 724. It used to wake me up at night when I'm sleeping, and I had agitated sleep and so many different other issues. I started to experience menopause all over again. That drove me insane, hot flushing and, just feeling very disorientated. So to be able to know that within the first few days, that the psoriasis on the back of my neck that was weeping and blistering for 4 years dried up in 3 days. I was immediately able to see at the age of 64, because the psoriasis started when I was 60, that it was very visible to me that something very different happened in my body when I turned 60. And this is what happened. I'm going to show you. So at the age of 30, half your stem cells are active. That means you started off with 1 trillion, now you've got less than 400,000. By the age of 60, you've got possibly 100,000 left if you're lucky. By the age of 70, I don't even know if there's any left at all, but statistics have shown that for those that are 70 and over that break a hip, did you know that 70% of them could die of a broken hip because it won't mend or they're too weak to operate to do a hip replacement? That is a very frightening statistic, especially when you look at the increasing population of old people today that have memory problems, irritability problems, and are on 20 tablets a day, don't know what it is to have a minute without pain. We're not supposed to be growing old like that. We're supposed to be like the animals in the jungle. The lion falls asleep under the tree. He's reached his expiry date. He doesn't wake up. We're also supposed to reach an expiry date. Why are we coughing and spluttering and living in pain? Something's very wrong here. So how does X39 work? Well, it's a proprietary form of phototherapy. So those of you that were able to see a clip of the video, you saw that the infrared light, like the red light you see in the incubator for the newborn baby, instead of being dissipated and lost out of the body, the patches, once applied to the skin, allow it to reflect back from the skin inside the body so that it has the effect of elevating copper peptides, the GHK and the AHK-CU, CU standing for copper. And this is where the age reversal and the reactivation of the stem cells takes place. So it's a patented nanocrystal technology, reflects light to activate, is non-transdermal, no drugs, chemicals, or stimulants. But very important, LifeWave products do not diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. The body does all the work. We are not doing anything. There's no diagnosis, there's no prescription, there's no summary of what condition the body is in. Stick the patch on, let the stem cells do their work. We've done analysis paralysis on trying to intellectualize this body and give it labels and give it names and give it diseases and give it conditions. Now let's go back to our divine intelligence and let the creator do the work. So what are the benefits of X39? Well, who wants more strength, especially as you get older? And like, for example, you see older people with, they call it sarcopenia, where the muscles actually dissipate and end up with the skin sitting on the bone. You don't need to grow old like that. You can increase your muscle strength as you get older. Reduced inflammation, the number one cause of pain. Increased stamina. Everybody's sick and tired of being sick and tired. Where's your energy and vitality? Well, it's there, but it hasn't been tapped into. You need to reactivate your stem cells, watch your energy and vitality go through the roof. Mental clarity. There's very few people today that can actually say that their mental clarity is like, I'm good. They'll tell you, oh no, I'm on an antidepressant. I've got anxiety tablets. Or my brother's bipolar. Or my mother's got dementia. My grandfather's got Alzheimer's. What is wrong? We're losing our brains. We need to get our mental clarity back. We need to get our brain fog out of the way, clear the fog, and be able to think and see and do clearly, and make creative decisions and intelligent decisions, and to tap into this divine intelligence that enables us to do that. Restored muscle and skeletal condition. You know, if you catch a flight these days, the flight can be delayed just for the number of people getting on in a wheelchair. I can't understand it. The more I travel, the more wheelchairs I see. So immobility is a very big problem. I built a very successful company known as Optimum Wellness. You'll find it on Facebook. It's got 58,000 likes, where I created health products just for bone and joint health. And I became the number one in South Africa, recognized by Facebook in 2016. So this was my background to help me when I had menopausal arthritis, and I was 7 to 24 in pain everywhere, and I thought I was going to end up in a wheelchair. And my own nutritional formulas that I put together with a PhD scientist is what made me able to get to 60 until my stem cells fell asleep. And then I had to wonder, why are my health products not working anymore? Well, if my stem cells are sleeping, all of that nutrition and good diet and everything that I was doing wasn't being absorbed and utilized. So your nutrition is your petrol in your tank. But when you switch your stem cells on, you are putting the engine on. You are getting rid of all of the malfunctioning in the body. You're starting the engine properly without any funny noises and squeaks and sounds. So get your engine running smoothly, and then you can use your petrol properly. Otherwise, you could be spending 2,000 Rand a month on nutritional supplements, and you don't even know it, but you flushed it down the toilet. So how many of you here don't sleep well? I am shocked and horrified at 40 and 50-year-olds now that have got sleep apnea, and they're going to bed with an oxygen mask on. I mean, is this a sci-fi movie or what? What is going on? It seems like the world's gone mad. So we are supposed to be sleeping well, eating well, living well, having memory, focus, concentration, having good mobility till old age. If you don't sleep, you don't heal. So very important. And if you're in pain, then you don't sleep. If you're agitated with stress, you don't sleep. If your body's highly acidic, you don't sleep. If you're going to bed with your stress, I always say to people, if you're married, are you going to bed with your husband and your wife, or do you go to bed with your stress? Which one is the one that you're going to bed with? So if you're going to bed with your stress, you need the X39 to calm you down, to calm that nervous system down, to alleviate the acidity in the body, alleviate the inflammation, and allow you to have a deeper, restful sleep. And while you are sleeping, you will be healing. So if you don't sleep well, you don't heal well. You're in a catch-22. So make sure that you work on having good sleep, with good sleeping patterns, with good bedtime, good waking up time. Get your biorhythms back in order. What do they call it now? The circadian rhythms. That's what we're supposed to work with. I trekked through the Himalayas when I was 27 without cell phones, without a watch. We never knew what time it was. And we learned to tell the time by when the sun rose and where it moved in the day and what time it set. And by the time I'd done that for 3 weeks, I knew almost to the minute what time it was in the day without ever wearing a watch. This is when you're in tune with your biorhythms in the body. We're totally out of it. We'll sit up to 1 or 2 looking at the cell phone. Then we're up at 6 in the morning thinking we've had a good night's sleep. That isn't correct. Something's wrong there. That's besides looking at the blue light on the screen, damaging your eyes and ending up with macular degeneration and other things because the blue light is damaging your eyesight. So improve skin appearance from your psoriasis to eczema to acne to all kinds of skin problems, whether it's wound healing, whatever it is, or just having a younger, more youthful, glowy skin. So improved skin appearance is a major thing. You'll see when people get patched, they just start glowing like somebody put the light bulb on inside them. And it's almost true that that actually happened. So, to achieve optimal health, a state of complete physical, mental, and emotional well being. Wow. Do you know anybody that can say that? Almost a complete state of physical, mental, and emotional well being. Emotionally, 80% of our illnesses are caused by emotional stress. I was featured in Longevity magazine as a leading expert in South Africa in 2016 on relating emotional stress to its biological effects on the body and teaching people techniques on how to manage their emotional stress. So, what you think and feel determines how your body becomes and in what condition it's able to maintain itself. Over 90% of doctors' visits to the doctor are because of emotional stress. So, LifeWave products, remember, they don't diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. Oh my word, this is my favorite slide. This is a 77-year-old woman who's a yoga teacher. And she went for this topography map because they wanted to find out why did she have a lack of brain coherence? That could be anything from poor memory loss to dementia. And why did she also feel like she was hyperactive? So what they found was that they put the patch on her. In 3 weeks, from the topography map alone, they could see a drastic reduction in inflammation. And in 6 weeks, no inflammation. I mean, we're talking 6 weeks, not 6 months or 6 years here. Now, we've got an amazing talk by Dr. Newman. He's a neuropsychologist. He said in his 40 years of his practice, he's never been able to achieve this with one of his patients. And that's using expensive $10,000 plus equipment to try and give people phototherapy-like treatment to enable this result. But the difference here is that you put the patch on, you're having phototherapy-like treatment constantly while you're wearing it, not going to the clinic for 1 hour every 2 weeks and sitting under a lamp and hoping something works. This is something that has continuity and consistency, which will therefore give you results. So what are the long-term results of X39? Well, a very fascinating website that I recommend all of you to explore is thisisit.info.com. And if you like research, at the top of the page when you go to it, it'll say science and research. So have a look there if you want to look at medical publications and so forth. And you'll also see a whole lot of testimonials. There'll be videos there, there'll be doctors talking, and right at the bottom of that page, there's a whole section that helps to give information to doctors that are wanting to recommend it to their patients. There's even a doctor there giving a testimonial of his very sick wife that had a bleeding ulcerative colitis and how by wearing the patches, her condition actually disappeared. So the doctors are blown away by this in America because the first people it helped was them in their own immediate family, that they didn't have answers for most of their problems. So in the first few days, did you know that historically, there's one pharmaceutical company that spent $1.6 billion to try and get genes to begin to reset. And after that 1.6 billion, they discovered that they could reset 2 genes. And guess what they told everybody? Have a glass of wine every night. It's got a red wine every night. It's got resveratrol, and that will help you to reset 2 genes. Wow, what a thing to say after $1.6 billion. So here we stick a patch on, 4,192 genes begin to reset. You're growing back to your original state. You are being restored. You are being reset. You're going back to your original blueprint. I mean, this is mind-boggling. I'm studying this now for 18 months. I feel like I'm doing a PhD because there's so much fascinating information. And I myself have been working with Dr. Tutler from Wits University. She did a PhD in stem cells from Michigan University in the States. And she looked at this and she said, I've got the theory, but this is actually the solution. Because when I do the therapy in the laboratory with my rats, they either get sick or they die. You don't have a side effect or a contraindication. And plus, it's not a therapy or a treatment. This is mind-boggling. This is a breakthrough in science. So she's also become a member of LifeWave, and I actually gave a presentation to her peers as well, both here in Johannesburg, in Midrand actually, as well as in Michigan, in Ann Arbor, which is the university town of Michigan University. Because when I was in America for a month, I actually went to visit the university and I met a whole lot of academics there. I had the opportunity to present to, and it was a mind-blowing experience. So to continue, we have our collagen. Did you know you've got over 28 types of collagen in your body? So from your eyes, your cornea, your retina, your heart is 35% collagen, your organs, your protein in your body makes up 30% of your body, your collagen makes up 90% of your protein. So that is your structure. That's why people are falling apart. That's why we've got immobility issues, because people's structure is actually collapsing like the scaffolding falling down. So we need to put ourselves back together like Humpty Dumpty. Within 6 weeks, the brain becomes balanced. We looked at the topography map on the previous slide. And within 6 months, the heart is reversing its age. Remember I told you? 15 heart patients over 6 months, only on X39. After 6 months, 14 of them had hearts 8 years younger. Tell me anything like that in the world that can do such a thing. It's impossible. And all of this knowledge is patented, so nobody can copy it till 2040. So it's unique. It's one of a kind. Nobody can copy it. If you see it anywhere else, it's probably a Chinese version and it's fake. So be very careful. Don't just go and look online and buy an X39. You'll be buying a fake one. You can only get the real ones from somebody who's called a brand partner. That means they've registered as a member of LifeWave. So just be very, very careful. And you've got no money back guarantee or any quality control. If you just go on Amazon or something and you buy there, you must get it from a brand partner. So within 6 months, the heart is reversing age. I mentioned that just now. It's not anti-aging, it's age reversing. And Dr. David Smith, PhD, is the CEO and the inventor of X39. Where do you find an inventor that's also a CEO? This is an incredible thing. Look at this. Tell me of anybody that can show me x-rays of their heart having gone through the medical system and got results like this. I would love to see a comparison. And we're only talking about 5 months. And we're talking about reduced inflammation in the heart. So this is really groundbreaking. Now, when it comes to pain, there are different reasons why people have pain. Some might be because they've broken a bone, they've had an operation, they've got muscular problems, they've got itis problems. Anything with an itis is an inflammation. So you've got arthritis, you've got rheumatoid arthritis or something itis, sinusitis, whatever it is, but itis means inflammation. So here we could be seeing that the cause of the pain could be from many sources. And let's say, for example, it's just stress and fatigue. In that case, then in 30 minutes, we might be seeing results like this. But if you've had a back operation or you've been in a car accident or something, there's going to be a lot of underlying issues that will need to be addressed through the hierarchy of needs in the body in order to eventually get to the point where the body can start living pain-free. So I tell people straight, use X39 for a year. You need to reset your genes, reset your DNA, go through all the hierarchy of needs in the body that needs repairing. And there's interesting, the other day, a lady phoned me. She said, Noori, 20 years ago, I had shingles. If you don't know, shingles is also related to chickenpox. and it can be reoccurring. And it's been written about with the healing crisis that some people can go through when they wear X39, because you can be doing something called reframing. That means it's picking up something that happened many, many years ago that got shut up and went away and possibly didn't come back, but its underlying issues didn't get resolved. So after 20 years, she started getting symptoms of her shingles again. She said, Noori, why am I getting shingles because I'm wearing X39? I said, your body's reframing. Your body's going back to addressing all those underlying issues which were shut up or not addressed. So she went along with it, and 6 months later, that she got better within a week. But 6 months later, she came back to me and she said, you know, Noori, I got that about the shingles, and I absolutely agree with you because I saw what happened in my body. But 6 months later, I never told you this, but for 20 odd years, I have not been able to live without my antidepressants. And if I try going without them, I go into a serious panic attack. I have anxiety attacks and I'm dysfunctional and disorientated. She said, I've been feeling lately that I didn't need them. I've been gradually weaning myself off them. And I can actually say today that I'm not on my antidepressant tablets anymore after more than 20 years. And I never thought I'm going to say that in my life. So you've got to give these things time. 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, 2 years. Your body, depending on what it's been through, depending on what needs healing, is going to take its own time. Don't be impatient. Remember, you're called a patient because you have to be patient. So we need to be patient with X39. Some of you will feel amazing the next day. In 3 days' time, you'll think a miracle's happened. But if it's 3 months or 6 months later, go with the flow. Don't be impatient. So how do you wear the patches? Well, that's amazing. You only need to wear them for 12 hours on and 12 hours off. So why is that? You're working with the daylight. You wake up in the morning, you put it on in the daylight, you take it off 12 hours later. If you're living in the UK, you might only have 8 hours in winter, as Catherine might be experiencing. So, but still wear them for 12 hours a day, and you take them off for 12 hours so that the body can have a rest from activating the phototherapy infrared light in the body. And it can be, while it's resting, it will be healing. So give it a resting and healing time before you stick the patch on the next day. So these come in a sleeve of 30 patches in a sleeve. And so you have one for every day of the month. So each sleeve is a month's supply. Now, the patches do have 14, actually, I think it's about up to 18 hours of life in them. So what often happens is the person using them, you can take them off, leave them one side when you're sleeping, and the next morning, put them on another person in the house or even a plant or an animal, and you'll actually see improvements in whoever you stick it on or whatever you stick it on, but it will have another 4 to 6 hours of life in it. But if you're the primary user of X39, put a new one every day, and make sure that you drink plenty of water with a pinch of Himalaya salt, because you need your electrolytes in the water. What do? They carry the electrical current in the water because, as I'm sure you know, your body is an electrical current. And so therefore the frequency of those cells needs to be maintained in order for the stem cells to be able to talk to each other, to create their coding, to do their work. So we need the transporter and we also need the frequency. So David Smith advises us to use the patches for a minimum of 90 days. That's your minimum reset period for your 4,192 genes and your DNA. And he reminds us again and again, please make sure that you're hydrated and that you have electrolytes in your water. Some of you might like to add electrolytes in your water, and you'll notice that even without the patches, you can have more energy in your body just by doing that. So who is David Smith? Well, what a remarkable man. It takes time to get to know this man because what he's done is absolutely incredible. Whether you want to talk about Tesla or Steve Jobs or anybody, but this man is on another level. And he says, you have an incredible opportunity before you today, the opportunity to bring the healing power of light to everyone around you. Now, he's the CEO, scientist, and inventor of LifeWave since 2004. Believe it or not, he's won the Inventor of the Year twice. Not once, twice. And last week, so LifeWave won the Biotech Stem Cell Research Global Award. Biotech Stem Cell Research Global Award. LifeWave won it. With their 90 clinical trials, over 200 patents. Dr. David Smith is one of a few men on the planet that has over 200 patents to his name, specializing in age reversal. And he focuses his attention on stem cell research since 2008. Prior to that, from 2004, he worked with the Navy SEALs before he created LifeWave. And they wanted their Marines to stay awake for 36 hours without drugs and stimulants. So the energy enhancer patch was the primary patch created by LifeWave. And in those days, the results came back that they were working for the Marines. The contract then ended, and he went on to launch LifeWave. And soon after, the Olympic coach for the American swimming team that approached Dr. David Smith and said, could they try the patches in the trials of the Olympic champions? And they did so. And in the first week, 90% of them broke their own records in their trials. 90% of them in the first week broke their own records in their trials. They went on to win the Olympic gold that year. The Olympic board thought they were all on drugs, so had them tested, came back that it was the energy enhancer patch and the stem cell reactivation that actually caused that. And as a result, LifeWave hit the headlines, and the rest is history. So a remarkable feat and incredible stories. Now, in 2020, X39 was patented after 10 years of research and 4.5 million to bring it to market with its patent so that nobody on the planet could ever even think about copying it. So till 2040, nobody can come close to making anything like X39. So it's patented in so many different ways, it's incredible. If you want to know more about that, go to thisisit.info.com, and you can even review the patents there. And there's some of them on the wall at the head office in America. The manufacturing takes place in Ireland, and also there's a National Institute there of Ireland that specializes in stem cell research, and much of the testing is done there for the patches as well. So X39 is the flagship, and there are these other patches. So from bone density to stress and inflammation to energy, hormones, increased production of glutathione, increased production of collagen. There's patches for lots of different things. So we start with the X39, and then we grow and we start to add on others as we become more familiar. There's our champions, David Beckham, the Olympic swimming champions. Then there's Mike Tyson, there's the Serena Williams. So it's quite fascinating. But this is what we're interested in, isn't it? Look at these before and after pictures. I'm blown away. I've got one myself that actually fares very well with these. And you can see that they've actually got a natural glow back in their skin, as if it's a photo that was taken of them 10 years earlier. And it's just themselves looking 10 years younger, without Botox, without plastic surgery and all of that. And the other thing you'll notice is that the skin is plumper. So what happens when we get to 50, we stop producing hyaluronic acid, which is the body's own moisturizer for your cartilage, for your eyes, for your skin. And the hyaluronic acid actually combines with collagen to give you that firmer, plumper look. So here, in many of you that suffer from dry eye after 50, it's because you're not producing hyaluronic acid anymore. Stick the X39 on, you'll see your dry eye disappears. There's a sign that you're creating hyaluronic acid again in your body. Incredible. Oh my word, look at these. I mean, that picture on the left here, that should have been an amputation, I would have thought. I'm not even sure what condition that is, whether it's cellulitis or gangrene or what. But that before and after in day 5 is something else. And then I know people that do live blood analysis, they tell me in 2 or 3 months they mightn't expect a result like that after people taking lots of different supplements. And then, of course, if they're over 60, they're going to be compromised because the stem cells won't even allow them to get that result because they're dormant. And then, of course, you've got edema. You see a lot of people with swollen feet. Look at the difference there. I mean, she actually got her feet back. Quite remarkable. Hair loss. It's so fascinating. Just about every gentleman I talk to asks me, will it make my hair thick again? Or will it grow my bald hair back to a normal, healthy hair? So here's some of the pictures of some of the people that have done this. And because copper peptides is actually what the hair is made of, and along with keratin, which is a collagen. So when you elevate copper peptides, you stimulate hair growth. So you'll notice that your hair actually gets thicker, stronger, shinier. In my case, I've got a gray head of hair. And if you look at my hair at the back underneath, it's actually going back to its original brown color. So I thought that was quite amusing. Now, this is a lady here that had lupus and RA, and she tells her real life story of how she's now living medicine free. So I'm just going to share this video as a part of the testimonial section for you to hear it from somebody who's used the patches.
Hi, Wanda. I'm so glad that I met you here because I've heard your story about being on having lupus and doing the X39 patch for the last 7 months. I'd love for you to share about your journey, if you wouldn't mind.
Sure. My name is Wanda Rodriguez, and as we all know, that patch does not treat or cure. But I want to say that I've been on the patches since November 2023. I started using X39 until about the second week of February. And February, I added Eon to my product, to my treatment. And after the month of February, I started doing X39, Eon, and Ice Wave. And now, going into my 7 month, I just started treating myself with all the rest of the patches just to see what they do for me. But as of April, I have been free from lupus, and I was told by my RA doctor and my regular doctor that I have no trace of lupus within my blood work.
Wow, that's incredible.
Today, I walk around with my information, and I've been showing
All your numbers.
for everyone to see that this is real. It takes time, it's a process. Actually, this week makes 2 months and 2 weeks that I officially took myself off all the medication, and I feel great.
Is that for your lupus and your RA?
Yes,
Wow, that is amazing.
yes.
And your RA has cleared up as
My
well.
A numbers have always been 800 and up, and as of April, they were 318.
Incredible. And the ice wave you put on the bottom of your feet for body pain, right?
Yes.
So that's really been helpful.
I noticed it gives me a better effect underneath my plants of my feet.
Yes.
And you could also use them on your wrist if you like, but
I wonder. I'm so glad that I met you here because
Right, so that really is an incredible story that's very inspiring. And this is another one that I have here on autism, but I'm thinking that the sound doesn't work so well. But it's just fascinating to watch because nobody has the answers to autism today. And this is a little boy that when he was about 2 years old, he'd gone for a vaccine with his mother. And then this happened after his vaccine. So forgive the sound, but just watch it and absorb the emotions of it because I always want to cry when I watch this one.
no.
So there we are. It's an incredible story there. So just a reminder of the thisisit.info.com. If you go to that website, or if anybody says to you, so what's X39 all about? You say, go to thisisit.info.com, and whether you want testimonials or science or an explanation of the company or doctors talking, then all of it's in there, and you can just find your way around that website. So we've got quite a number of people on the meeting this evening. We've got 28 with us at the moment. Is there anybody here that would like to actually put their hand up and share a testimonial of their experience on the patches? I've shared mine earlier, but I know a lot of you have been coming in over the last 30 minutes, so welcome to the meeting. So is there anyone that would like to share? We've got Connie here. Would you like to share your experience? Connie? And we've got, let's see, we've got Lutfi. Lutfi, are you available? Can you unmute to share your experience? Are you there, Lutfi?
I can go first, Noori. Thank you.
Yes, is that Lutfi?
This is
Yes,
Connie.
Noori, it's Fatima, but Lutfi is not wanting to talk. I
Right.
suppose we've got a bit of excited at the moment.
Yes.
So my name is Fatima. My husband's Lutfi, and he had gone for spinal surgery about 2 years ago. In this year, he had the uncomfortableness returning, where he had just come from Saudi Arabia, and he was feeling uncomfortable, and he had all of the sensations that he had with going for surgery. And I was like, oh my dear, let's not talk surgery again. I spoke to a friend of ours that was in Johannesburg, and she was saying to me that she was using this patches. Why don't we try it? And I said to Lutfi, are you open to it? And he said, yes, of course. He's got friends that from his football club that he's using it, and he was happy to use it. And in a few days after using it, he was feeling a lot more comfortable. He had more flexibility in his neck. He's got more flexibility in his knees. And as you mentioned, Noori, on the for men with a bald head, I noticed the other day, I said, little spots coming out on the head. I said, don't shave it, let's grow it, let's see. Because when men bald and it goes, it's like there's nothing at all, and he's got these little spikes that are coming out. So yes, we've definitely benefited from using the X39. We've now added on the Aeon patch.
Yes.
And yes, it's only been good so far. I mean, everybody was expecting me to see a lot more positive results than he was, because he's had the spinal surgery. But no, he's taking the lead on all of this. I mean, for me, it's been my skin has been so dry with being menopause, but I haven't been able. There was no need for me to use moisturizer for weeks now. So, yes, I've got cats, so when I get scratched by the cats, it's healing like within days. I mean, that's so surprising that, normally a scratch would take about a week or so. Now it's a day or two and it's healed. So it's amazing.
Fantastic. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing, Fatima. Now we've got Shanice here. Shanice, are you available to unmute to share about your husband Yusuf's story? And we've got Leanne here. Leanne, would you like to share your story? Could you unmute, Leanne? Leanne, are you there? And who else have we got here? Have you got Leanne? Can you hear me? Doesn't look like she can.
Yes.
There we
Can you
are.
hear me?
Wonderful.
Okay.
Yes, my dear. Would you like to share your story? Again, another one with operations and joint problems. So please
Yes.
share
So
with us.
Thanks, Nuri. So, hello everybody. So, I am from Rustenburg and I started with joint problems, pains in my hands and my arms about 2 years back. And I went for operations. I had one in my hand and I had a major um, neck surgery beginning of 2024. And eventually I could not work anymore because I was working on a computer for 98% of my day. Um, and I got medical boarded at the mine where I was working. And I've started with X39. It's about 4 months now, but I'm using it full time. And I definitely can feel an improvement. Apart from the pain in my joints, which is still there sometimes, depending on what I do with my hands and how I handle it. But I am feeling I don't have any brain fog anymore. Um, I do have a lot more energy. I'm sleeping a lot better. My nails are better. My hair is better. So I really, overall, I can feel a very huge improvement in my body, in what I'm doing. I'm also close to 60 now, and I really can feel I'm stronger. I'm physical. I'm stronger than I used to be.
Wonderful.
So it's got a major difference in my case.
So beautiful to hear. Thank you, ladies, for sharing. It's so inspiring. And I'm just watching the time now, so I'm going to move on a little bit. But you know, this is how LifeWave grows. LifeWave does not advertise. So these figures that you are seeing on the screen, a 21-year-old company in now up to over 85 countries, with patents to make sure that nobody can copy it. It's not a Me Too. It's not a smoothie or a skin product or a supplement. It's a technology in a patch. And from 2021, it's gone from 20 million to $600 million. I mean, that's a 3,000% growth. This company is number one in the world for growth as a company for direct selling in the world. It's number one for patents. It's number one for research. It's number one for Inventor of the Year Award, a Biotech Stem Cell Research Institute Global Award. The number ones keep going on. And even those that choose to be a part of LifeWave, where they can earn referral commissions back, this company pays back 60 cents of every dollar profit to those that spread the word by word of mouth. So as you can see, the essence of this meeting is that people that are using the patches have invited you here. And I'm here talking to you because I recommended it because it worked for me. So the whole thing only grows by the power of referral. So in life today, if we tell somebody to go and watch a good movie, nobody pays us to send that person to the movie house to watch it. But with LifeWave, if you say, you know what, I'm patched, you need to get patched, my pain's gone, my back op, my menopause, my psoriasis, all that finish gone, you need to try it. And it's got a 30-day money back guarantee if you become a member. But if you want to be a customer and get it at wholesale, you can even have a 90-day money back guarantee. I mean, how good does it get? And you still got figures like this on the screen. So when you get started with LifeWave, if you pay it the retail price, it'll be $150. In rands, that's 3,000 rand with VAT and delivery. But we don't want you to pay dollars, as in $150 or 3,000 rand. We want you to get it at wholesale. So there's two ways to get it at wholesale. One is you just go on as a regular customer for 3 months, known as a subscription, a 3-month subscription, and you get your patches delivered to you every month by courier guy from Johannesburg for 2,000 rand a month, 66 rand a day. But guess what? You have 90 days in which you can ask you for your money back without giving a reason. And I can tell you that they do this because I've seen it being done. And so that is a remarkable thing. And it's one sleeve of X39 with 30 patches in it, plus VAT and delivery for 2,000 rand a month, 66 rand a day, with a 90-day money back guarantee. Now, I always tell people you can try and fail, but please don't fail to try. because there's so much evidence behind all of this that it does what it says it's doing. You might think, what can a patch do? Well, there's 90 clinical trials there to tell you. There's millions of people around the world that are living healthy lives out of wheelchairs, living pain-free. Autoimmune disease is gone, autism child's getting better, and so on and so forth, that tell you that it works, and it's how you're in this meeting. So don't overlook it. And there's no risk involved here. The only risk is that you don't use them. So if you want to become a member and you like the idea of being paid a referral commission, that's when you think about becoming a member. Otherwise, you can be a preferred customer where you get it on subscription every month, and your card gets swiped for 2,000 every month. And if you're happy with that, you can carry on like that. And we have doctors that do this with their patients. So the patients get put on subscription, and the doctor earns a $20 commission out of every X39 every month. That goes into an e-wallet. If he does it with 10 patients, that's $200 a month in his account. And when he wants to use that money, it can either be transferred to a bank account here in South Africa or anywhere in the world, as well as the fact that he could use it to buy patches for himself, or that he wants to buy patches to sell them for cash in the practice itself, and they tap the card before they leave. Or you can get a LifeWave debit card, which is a MasterCard, and travel the world like I have. I've done 8 countries in the last year, using my debit card and tapping my dollars wherever I went, buying airline tickets, train tickets, hotel rooms, coffee shop, anywhere I was, Pick n Pay down the road, and I just tap my card and I spend my dollars, not my rands. So for all of that, you get a free membership when you join LifeWave. And as you saw with the patches on subscription, you get them at $100 a sleeve. And then that would be 1 sleeve a month, and you carry on. Here, you buy 3 sleeves in one membership, and your qualifier to come in as a member is to have 3 X39 or $300 of patches. So you saw there's different types of patches. You can mix and match up to the value of $295. But that will give you what's called a core membership, with an affiliate link, with a website, with a shop, with the opportunity to enroll people that want to join like this, with the opportunity to have an e-wallet to earn dollars, to get a debit card, to get your patches for free. The number one reason why people join LifeWave is to earn commission to get their patches for free. Why spend 2,000 Rand a month on the X39 when you can get it for free? So you've got your own built medical system here, where as long as you keep recommending it to a friend, your patches are going to be free for you. So put in the effort and you'll be rewarded. If not, pay 2,000 Rand a month. It's entirely up to you. And there's no compulsion to order every month either. Once you're a member, you order when you want to. But if you want to go on and build a business with this, which you can, you just buy 2 sleeves a month to keep you qualified to use the patches for yourself. But nobody asked you to buy stock. You're not buying and selling. If you recommend this to your neighbor, you give your neighbor your link, they go online and purchase, you get commission dollars going into an e-wallet. I've got people in 7 countries at the moment. I've got a team growing in Dubai, in Canada, and I'm starting with the UK currently. And we've got Catherine here this evening who's launching her business from the UK. She's sitting in the UK at the moment. And she actually initiated this meeting because she wanted to introduce her friends and her contacts to X39. So if you want to come in where you fit in, these are the options where you can join. As you buy the bigger bundles, you'll see you pay less for the patches. So with advanced, you get the patches for $89 for an X39 instead of $100. For premium, you get them for $87.50 instead of $100. So we have, for example, health professionals. They'll buy 20 sleeves, keep it in their practice, and sell them at retail at the counter for 3,000 Rand, but they bought them for 1,800 Rand. That's the conversion. So 295 is 6,000 Rand with VAT and delivery. Advance is about 11,000 Rand with VAT and delivery. And premium is about 35,000 Rand with VAT and delivery. And you'll be surprised at how many people that I talk to that actually take a premium pack. And there's a very big reason why I said that, because I'm going to show you just now. So when you come into LifeWave, if you want to start generating an income with it, you could either just be selling them retail, you buy them wholesale, you sell them, or you could get a product introductory bonus for introducing people. And if you want to go on to build a fully fledged business, the opportunity's there, no compulsion. If you just want to earn a referral commission, which the modern buzzword in internet marketing today is, be an affiliate marketer and earn commission, or they called it drop shipping or something. So the same opportunity applies in LifeWave, and you can be earning a passive income globally. Like I've already become a global citizen because I travel, I work, I spend my dollars, and I don't worry about the rand anymore. So this is what happens when you introduce people to LifeWave. You can earn $35, $75, or $405 when you introduce a premium. $405 is about nearly 8,000 Rand, I think, for introducing one person to LifeWave. And I do that quite often. If you want to go on and build a business, you can do that. Here's the structure of how you do it. You bring in 2 people, you become what's called a manager. You bring in another 2 people, you become a second level manager. They call it 1-star and 2-star manager. And that's what the structure looks like. If you're interested in that, there's a life-changing opportunity that goes with it. The lady that introduced me, she's doing it for 3 years. She earns $1,000 a day. If you want to know how to earn $100 a week, $200 a week, $100 a week would be $400 a month. That would be about an extra 7,500 to 8,000 Rand in your pocket that you wouldn't otherwise have had. Maybe you could just get your debit card and use it to, go to the UK, go to America, go for Umrah, whatever it is that you want to do, but you'd have your dollars to travel with. I'm going to Turkey in December because I'm going to the Konya Festival in Turkey, which is the Rumi Festival. And that's my dream. And I'm taking my dollars so that I can travel with my dollars and have a beautiful experience in Turkey. So I'm living my dream. So these are some of the other ways that you can get paid, where you get paid multi-generationally. And so if you're looking to change your life, and if you're looking to do something different where you can touch, move, and inspire people, this is about you switching your light and switching other people's lights on, and it can switch on your bank account as well. So if we're like, This Is It team in the world is the fastest growing team. Everybody here that's a member is a part of the This Is It team. We contribute 67% to the global turnover of LifeWave of all the 85 countries. And also when it comes to our achievements, we earn the highest number of highest ranking positions in the company. So we've got a winning formula, amazing leadership, amazing mentorship, amazing coaching, and the best payout in the world with up to 9 ways to earn, which also includes incentive trips. So for example, in my first 3 months, I won a trip to Morocco. Within 6 months, I won a trip to Dubrovnik. And a few weeks ago, I just won a trip now to go on a cruise from Miami to the Bahamas in February next year. But the difference there is I'll be on the ship with 1,000 top leaders from all over Europe, South Africa, Mexico, Canada, and America. And we'll all be together for breakfast, lunch, and supper for 4 days, where you get to sit with top leaders around the world and say, okay, so how did you do it? What was your secret? So if you want to join and enroll as a brand partner, here's an example. You can come in at Core, Advanced, Advanced Plus, or Premium, and you just put in your name, your address, your date of birth, the name that you would like to give your affiliate link. My affiliate link is Optimum Wellness. So that link, when you give it to someone, it says lifewave.com/Optimum Wellness. That would be mine. Whatever name you give yours will be there. And whoever uses that link results in you getting a referral commission. So this is just a very, very simple way of doing this. And this whole thing is done online, even though I've got it in paper form on the screen. Thisisitteam.com is very important for you to remember. If you're already a member and you haven't seen thisisitteam.com, it's a must. It's got the A to Z of your step ladder to success. So all the people that have made it to the top put this together as a training module, and that means that you can duplicate, replicate, and build a successful team, because you're building a multi-generational family tree of which everybody in your family tree you get paid for. So if you end up with 10 or 20 or 10,000 people in your team, you will get paid for all of them. You want to know more? Ask the person who invited you. If you want a three-way call with me with them, I can talk to you further about your individual needs or your goals for creating a business, or you want to talk to somebody that's in America or Thailand or Australia or Dubai or any one of the other 85 countries, get them on a three-way call with me. I'll talk to them for you. So that brings us to the end of this evening's presentation. And we have gone over time, but it's been an absolute pleasure. And thank you for the wonderful testimonials. And to make sure that you contact the person that invited you this evening. And we look forward to helping you and supporting you further. Bless you, everybody. And good night and stay safe.
Thank you, Noori.
Thank you. Is anybody
Thank you,
would
Noori.
like to
Thank
stay
you,
on and ask
everybody.
questions? Thank you, dear.
Thank you, Noori.
Bless you.